Broadcasting from the capital of sports, it's the Matty B Show. Right here on Epis Sports Radio. Matty B on Epis Sports Radio.
And swung on and hit in the air. To deep right center. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. Very deep is right. Hits one deep to left field. Headley back near the wall. It's out of here. The Mets win the ball game.
A 60-point game for Cody Bryant. It's up by 3. It's over. Eric Decker holds it in. The Jets win in overtime.
Sports Radio.
All right. What's going on, everybody? How you doing? It's your boy, Matty B, Epis Sports Radio, episode 16. Sorry about last night for those that were tuning in for the Mental Mondays, episode 2. We had some issues software-wise. I logged on. OBS was just doing whatever OBS does. And just so happens to switch some settings up on me. There was no way I could stream on YouTube at the same time. So I was like scrambling, trying to figure out that. By the time, I even got anywhere near close to being functional, I was just kind of like fed up at that point, and I still wasn't able to connect YouTube to the stream last night. So I apologize for that. It's been a little while since we have streamed. Feels like a decade since we streamed. So much going on in sports, that's for sure. I think last episode wasn't that long ago. Was it Monday? Last Monday, I guess. So it's been a little bit. Monday or Tuesday, I think we last streamed. So for episode 15, we did do sports Mental Mondays last Monday as well. So it's been about a week, been a little over a week. How's everybody doing? Thank you for tuning in. Those who are tuning in through YouTube or Twitch, appreciate it. All right, riding solo tonight. My guy Dubby Dubois is working. He's actually working this Magic game going on, and they're kicking ass right now on the Hawks. It looks like it's gonna they're on their well on their way to a blowout win tonight. I'll get you the live update on that right now. They're in commercial. I'm taking a look at it, but I don't know if you were tuned in this weekend for everybody. In terms of golf, but I certainly was locked in. We have some coffee right here. Augusta National was this weekend. It was a beautiful weekend of golf indeed. Even if you're not a fan of golf, I think there was storylines that could capture you a little bit. And, the beloved Rory McIlroy coming out on top, finishing his career Grand Slam. Almost lost it there down the stretch. The story going into Sunday was that Bryson DeChambeau was going up against Rory McIlroy, and it was uncertainty whether or not Rory was able to find a way and close the deal. He had a 2-shot lead going into Sunday, going into the final round. I believe he was minus 12 under, and DeChambeau was 10 under. Finished with, what was the final score on that? Finished with an 11 under, so he went +1 on the day. Did not have a great day. And as we know it, hit one into the water. I believe, I gotta find exactly where, but it was bad. I believe that's on the 10, where he scored a 14. I mean, that seems like that was his worst hole right there. Was on 10, based on the numbers I'm looking at. It had a couple of 13s in there as well. So, yeah, not great. Not great for him. Oh, no, that's in terms of where he stood on the day. I'm sorry. I apologize there. Did he start out 10? Oh, no. I'm forgetting now. They both were 10 going in. I got to read this handicap correctly. Sorry, folks. But, yeah, not great. Not great for him. Oh, no, that's in terms of where he stood on the day. I'm sorry. I apologize there. Did he start out 10? Oh, no. I'm forgetting now. They both were 10 going in. I got to read this handicap correctly. Sorry, folks. All in all, the end standings, Rory comes out on top, minus 11. Justin Rose tied him in the end as well. They went to a one-hole playoff, and Rory with a beautiful setup shot, beautiful approach shot. And he finished off the deal with a birdie there. And Rose just getting a par and falling up short. Big day for Rose. A guy that coming in, he was on the leaderboard, but nobody really thought he had a real shot or a chance at that title, and he made it close. Towards the end, he was already in the clubhouse waiting for Rory as Rory's sweating out. And again, had Rory had it on 18, had the chance to finish off the deal, but ultimately, missed that putt, and they go to the one-hole playoff. Thankfully, he finishes off, and the career Grand Slam is set. And hey, Nasty, what's going on, bro? How we doing, man? Nasty's in the chat. Thank you for stopping by, man. But ultimately, Rory, finishes it off. A nice Masters win. Yes, he did struggle up and down. Some people criticizing him for that, criticizing, he didn't really get the job done, didn't really do a good job there in the end on Sunday. But I tend to disagree. If you watched it, and I watched literally all 18 holes, and everything about it. First of all, in the first half of the day, he looked very confident. And, especially because Bryson, there was a bit of a flip-flop. He comes out terrible, double bogey to start the day. So, not so confident to begin with. Bryson takes the lead for a second there, but then he falls apart and opens the door for Rory. If Bryson doesn't fall apart, that's really the story. We should be talking about Bryson DeChambeau, not Sean. He's the people's champ right now. Everybody is talking about Bryson. And, if it wasn't for him, falling apart there, then and he fell apart bad. I mean, he fell to 5. He was minus 7 for the tournament. And that's for a guy that was minus 10 going in, to have a +3 day on a final Sunday day where it's yours for the taking, especially with the way Rory played. Played a +1, so tough day for him, but. More power to Rory, fighting back. After the double bogey, I believe he birdied on 3, and got some of the momentum back. And he made a lot of good shots down the stretch. He had to. Yes, you would like to see him finish it off on 18 with the birdie right there. Have the big moment, but he still had his moment with the one-hole playoff. You still have to make that shot. I mean, I think it's even more of an intense pressure moment for him. After missing the shot on 18 for the title win, then you go to the one-hole playoff. Now you got to shake off all his nerves. Rose is coming out of the clubhouse all fired up, pumped up. He's been swinging, doing practice swings for the last half an hour. Now Rory, all the emotions, everything, all the criticism that he's received in the past. You're not able to get it done in the big moment. Bryson beating him in the past. Overcoming those demons. All right, now you got that one guy, but now here comes Rose sneaking in at the last second here. Career guy, also trying to make a big name for himself, and wouldn't it be a way to steal one from Rory there? But he comes up, hits one right into the fairway, does his thing. The approach was spectacular. I've never seen such great spin, just a great setup. And Rose's approach shot was equally as nice. It wasn't as good as the Rory setup, but I believe he finished off with par there, and so Rory misses that putt, which is a rather easy birdie. If you miss that, well then maybe you deserve to lose at that point. If he misses that, who knows? We go to a second playoff hole. So, good for him. Good story. It was an emotional send-off, a nice emotional walk-off, as they normally do, into the clubhouse. The pageantry afterwards, it's a little much, if you ask me. It's a little much. There's a lot of, just... It's like a one slow camera shot. You walk through the clubhouse, all right? It's kind of like just, it's all... propped up the whole nine. Everybody's got the jackets on. It's kind of like awkward a little bit, Oh yeah, Rory, here's your jacket, and it's pretty funny if you if you ever get a chance to see one of those Masters Awards show afterwards. But good for Rory, man. I think no matter what he does at this point, he's solidified his legacy in golf, certainly in Masters lore. He's nowhere near the legacy of Jack Nicklaus or Tiger Woods, Gary Player type, but he's up there. He's up there. And who knows? I mean, his story's not finished. There's so much more left to him. I think he's probably playing the best golf he's ever played. I don't know how old is he. Let me check how old is he. Because he's got some time, man. He's got some time. I don't think, he'll ever he's 35. He's 35. But in golf years, realistically, he's got like a good 10 years in him, So, I mean, I don't think it's, anywhere to where he can. By the way, he won $4 million for that match. That putt on 18 could have literally cost him $2 million. He was guaranteed to win $2 million if he loses, and he comes in second place and Rose comes in first. The overall purse of Augusta National is $21 million. That's split up. I don't know how many pay out. I want to say probably like top 20, something like that. Top 20, top 15 probably pay out in Augusta. But I know the 1 and the 2s, like Rory's like 4 point something. It's like 4.1, 4.2. Rose, I think a little minimum, 2 million, a little over. So yeah, it's got to be like split up small wise between 10 or 15 guys after that. But Scotty, Patrick Reed finished third, -9. Scotty Scheffler, -8. SJM, nice surprise little finish there right there. -7. DeChambeau, I think he was the big story there as well because he really fell off. Oberg, I think it was. It's spelled Aberg. He had a great weekend, but kind of fell short there on Sunday as well. I thought he had really a chance to sneak up to the top, especially if DeChambeau and Rory had a bad day, which they did not have a stellar day, but they were already so far on top ahead of the pack that it was good enough. But Oberg, he's got a chance there. He's got a bright future there. DeChambeau, listen, he'll be back. Wasn't, but he's done it before. You know what I'm saying? He's done it before. He'll be back. The guy's ridiculously young. He's got ridiculous power on his side. He's the people's champ. You like to see it. He's stark contrast from Rory, when you're watching these two. As Bryson's, talking, dapping up all the fans. He's definitely has the young viewer vote. I think Rory's more for the older viewer in golf, personally. Not to say that, the younger viewer's not excited to see him play or, excited to see him do his thing. Let me just get a little sip of the old cafe. I've been going with milk again. I gotta cut it out. It's my guilty pleasure. I was going with black coffee, no sugar, no milk for a long time. We switched back to the milk and the sugar. It's not good. But yeah, between the two guys, man, it is really interesting to watch the difference between the two. Rory a little bit more subdued, laid back, if you will. And dapping up a couple of people, but he's really not interested in it. Bryson said after the match that he didn't talk to him the whole day. He was paired with him, which is also another element of pressure put on Rory, by the way. And you got to give it to the guy. I mean, the guy did his thing. He was seemingly locked in the whole way through. When Bryce is saying that he didn't talk to him the whole time, believe him. I kind of giving him all the Michael Jordan, the little Kobe treatment right there. Like, yeah, we may talk, outside, and I don't think they're really like buddies like that anyway. But I'm sure he talked to him, if he's not paired up with him, or maybe not up there in the standings with him as well. But he's locked in, had to do what he had to do, and again, to come out that way on one, the double bogey, Bryson, I believe, birdied. It was a three, right? It was a double bogey on Rory's part, which for those of you that don't know in golf, is you lose 2 points essentially, and then Bryson comes out with the bird, gaining a point. So that's a 3-point swing right there, And next thing you know, all the momentum swinging Bryson's way, but he's stood in there, did his thing, and came away with the victory, man. It's beautiful. But watching these guys, how they maneuver and the crowd and everything is interesting as well. Bryson, he's got the whole YouTube thing. He's not a YouTube star now, doing the whole hole-in-one challenge over the house. It's a whole thing with him. He's playing golf, little side things with all the stars in golf, all the golf influencers, if you will, the whole nine. But it was a pretty good leaderboard all throughout the weekend. Shuffle, Jason Day was on there, Johnson. These guys all finished in top 10. Oberg, like I mentioned before. Bubba was even in the mix. I don't feel like people don't talk about Bubba Watson anymore, but he was 3 under for the tournament. Tied for 14. Not bad. Give it up to him. Other stuff going on in sports, of course, we got the baseball, we got the basketball, and that's probably the most important thing that's going on right now. We got NBA playoffs, yes, or the play-in bracket, but listen, the play-in thing, play-in tournament, call it what you will. It's the playoffs, all right? And that's where my co-host, Dubby Dubois, is right tonight. I don't know if we can maybe get him in here and get a little live update from the scene itself. But the Magic and the Hawks are going right now. Just to give you the other play-ins that are going to be taking place, you got the Heat and the Bulls coming in. The Heat with the 10 seed sneaking into the playoffs, and the Bulls at the 9. It's kind of amazing to me that the Mavericks found a way to get in. I think we'd have to go back, but it was before. It was before the trade that we made the predictions between me and Dub. And I believe I had the Mavericks making the playoffs, and I don't think Dubby did. We'll talk about it when I get them another time. I don't have the paper in front of me. But that, I believe, was the prediction. And it's amazing to see everything that they've gone through. Trading Luka, getting AD, him going down on an injury, done for the season. Kyrie, done for the year, probably never going to play again. All this, trade talk with the Luka trade, then, all the Nico talk of firing him. Fascinating. And yet they still, some way, are in a playing game. At 39-43 on the year, these guys somehow found a way. It's beyond me, but they're going up against the Kings. They'll play in, and... Yeah, I don't know. Is it deserving? Do we even want to watch this? At least with, I'll give the team like a Heat. They're the 10 seed. In comparison of the 10s, the Heat are by far the superior team. And honestly, I don't even know if I could really say that. Maybe it's just all the drama that ensued with this team surrounded by Jimmy this year. But, coming in at 37-45, that's 2 less wins than Dallas. Are they the better team? I don't know, but the eye test to me is that, yes, they are the better team. We'll see. Maybe they can make some noise. So, right now, I just had the game on. I still have it on right now. It's commercial again. Magic been up all night, but it seems like the Hawks are fighting back. I'm going to get, let's see, I could even pull it up for you guys, too, while I get the live score. So right now, 71-68 Magic, with 2:30 left in the third. So Hawks came back. Amazing, honestly. Let me pull up this box score. Maybe I can even pull up the game cast for you. Let me cue this up for the guys here. But that's insane, man. That's insane that, there we go. So for the viewers there. So what are we looking at here? So 73-68 at the moment. I'm actually a little bit behind because I got it on Hulu on my phone right here. So Orlando, big bucket there. So try to get a little separation, up by 5. Some scores tonight. Let's see who's been putting up the buckets. Of course, Trey Young, 22 points. Muhammad Guy, 11 points. Shows you how much I watch the Hawks. And not too much else going on for them. Georges, 8 points. Karis LeVert, 4 points. It's really just that 5. And seeming like, how many are they playing tonight? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, they're going with a 10-man roster, but really only playing 8 guys for the most part as the third's coming to an end. Paolo, 12 points for him tonight. 0 for 3 from 3, but 8 for 10 from the free throw line. Struggling from the field, 2 for 11. So a bit of a struggle for him. Could you imagine if he was hot tonight? This game would be virtually a blowout. It was looking like it was a blowout for a while, but all of a sudden the Hawks have turned it around here in the third, outscoring as of right now, outscoring Orlando 23-16. All right, with now 37.3 to go in the third. So what happens then? All right, you take we'll go from that. Let's pull it back. Hold on. Show you right here what happens if the Magic win. All right, the winner goes to the Celtics. All right, so you're basically looking at both teams saying, all right, neither of them got a shot. It's a warm-up game for the Celtics. It's a warm-up series for the Celtics here. If you're the Magic or the Hawks, you almost want to lose this game. Maybe, I don't know. Would you rather go up against the Celtics or the Cavs at some point? I know, because, theoretically, your season can go a little bit long. You get a little bit more basketball if you lose this game tonight, because then you're going for the second play-in opportunity, all right, where you could either go up against the Heat or the Bulls. Then, if you win that one, you go on and you play the Cavs in the 1 seed. I don't know who's worse at this point. It's probably the Cavs, but I guess it depends on how you match up. Clearly, I think the Magic are going to hold on and win this game. If they don't, it'd be a bit of a letdown for them. Right now, as they end the third, 79-73. Hawks outscored Orlando 26-18, so they find a way to fight back. Good for the Hawks. Bad on Orlando's part, but again, you got outscored by 8, and you only put up 18 in the third, and you're still up by 6 here. You go out here in the fourth, find a way to close out this game, and keep it moving, man. That's what you need to do right now. Again, Paolo not having a good night. Franz Wagner 5 for 12. All right. Oh, what did Trump do now? President Trump officially signs executive order banning illegal finish it, man. How is my watch just gonna cut off the notification there? How are you gonna it just makes you want to turn it on and check it out. Anyway, thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. Know we had some couple of people in here before. So, little playoff basketball going on right now. I think that's the only game at the moment. Let me check for you guys. The over-under tonight, by the way, was -6.5 for Orlando. Interesting there. I'm just looking through the scores here for you folks. Let's see. I can get this out. Make this a little bit bigger while we have you. Aha. Good. Everybody see that now? There we go. All right. So, again, no games were yesterday. All the games wrapped up. All the home games, all the last season games wrapped up the other day. Knicks, Nets, what a way to finish, right? Knicks with a little bit of a win there. Consolation prize. I don't even think anybody played. Shamet with the 29 points. So good for him. tough way to end the season for my Nixies. All right, I don't know. They get paired up here, and real quick, just to let you guys know, the other game tonight. That was where I was going with that. The other game tonight's at 10 p.m. Grizzlies Warriors. We'll get into that matchup real quick. I'll start to break that down a little bit for you guys. So again, Hawks Magic going into the fourth as of right now. Got Grizzlies Warriors coming up at 10. All right, and then tomorrow you got the Heat Bulls, 7:30, and then Mavs Kings. That was the game we were just talking about, 10 p.m. All right, we'll break down some of those matchups a little bit as well. We should be going live tomorrow as well with Dubby for an episode 17 of Epis Sports. So we'll be breaking down the matchups from today and previewing some of the matchups as well tomorrow with us. But like I said, in regards to my Nixies, tough finish on the year for them. No other way to put it. Coming in, 51-31. This team, they just didn't seem to have it. They just didn't seem to have what it takes down the stretch. Their record against the good teams in the league, I don't even know where it is anymore. Let's just put it this way. They haven't won a game. I think they're like 0-16 against top-tier teams. Now, it's just absurd. It's really absurd. I believe those teams consist of Celtics, Thunder, Cavs, Nuggets, I believe the Lakers, and I want to throw in the Rockets in there as well. I believe those are the teams, man. And maybe even the Warriors as well in there. It's embarrassing. Did they beat the Rockets? I feel like maybe they did beat the Rockets. Maybe it was the Warriors they didn't beat. And, Warriors coming in at 7. I don't know. Awfully embarrassing the way it's, ended. I know they kind of just saving Brunson for the playoffs there and easing him into it. But, I'm just concerned. They're matched up here with the Pistons, who, 44-38 on the year. This is a rough team. Cunningham is going to come to play. These guys, can flat out ball out. This is too big of a setup series for the Knicks, in my opinion. I don't like it. I don't like the matchup for them. The Knicks are favored right now, -7.5. If you're a betting man or woman or whatever, non-gender, plus 7.5 Detroit all day, every day. I don't think there's any way the Knicks blow them out in this game. I get it. It's not the play-in, so maybe the urgency isn't at the same. Detroit can afford to lose a game here. The Garden's gonna be, I'm sure, rowdy as always. These Knicks fans, as much as they've been barking about this team, we're not good enough, or we can't get to that next level. They'll be ready to go. Game 1. And when is game 1, by the way? Let's check this out for. And it's on Saturday at 3 o'clock. Tickets right now as low as $263 on Vivid Seats, all right? $263. All right, that's not terrible. If you're a big-time Knicks fan, you want to get in there, it's not bad. Granted, it's relatively all the way up top, I'm sure, so not really, what you want to be doing there. But, hey, you want to go to the game. I don't think I'll be there for this one. Am I doing anything on Saturday? Yes, I believe I'm doing stuff on Saturday. Yes, I'm busy on Saturday. I'm not going to the game. I can't afford it right now. But, again, this team, man, you look at these players, Cunningham. I'm looking at some of the leaders right now of NBA stat leaders. Hold on. Let me get the roster up. Little injury report, too. They got Jaden Ivey's out, and Isaiah Stewart is game time decision, the center for the Pistons. For the Knicks, game time decision OG. All right, so expected return date the 19th. And so, he's most likely going to be ready to go. He's going to be playing out there, but, we'll see. We'll look at it. I'm trying to pull up the rosters here for the good old Pistons. All right, you got Malik Beasley, a guy that, could be a pest, right? He's not necessarily, put up big numbers, but, nice defensively, can, be sometimes reliable with that. And, just be a pest for you. Been around for a minute. Cunningham, he's an absolute baller. We know what he's done. Jalen Duren, another young guy. How's that going to match up? I think Cat will match up well against him. Mitch as well. If it's just Mitch going up at him most of the time, we'll see how many minutes Mitch is going to get come playoff time. Are they really going to up the minutes? They really going to push him to that level? I'm interested to see. You got Hardaway, Ron Harper Jr., Tobias Harris, Ventencio. Again, Ivy's out, so they're missing Ivy. And I believe the Isaiah Stewart center is a game time decision for them. But this is a team, man, that is a sneaky little team for the Knicks. I'm worried about them, potentially finishing off the deal here and moving on to a second round. And then, if they somehow sneak around and get through a second round, whether it be, a nice little, even if they go deep in this series, even if they go deep, even if they, finish off the deal in a little gentleman's sweep, I'm still worried about the Knicks going forward. But, this to me is like, you have to win. Yeah, you have no choice but to win here. If they lose, it's a monumental collapse. Especially in the wake of Denver Nuggets firing Mike Malone. This is opening up the door for this Knicks franchise to fire Tom Thibodeau. Because now you got an excuse. Now you can say, especially if Detroit knocks them off in the first round, forget it. I think everybody, not only the fan base, but the media, is going to have it out for Tibbs' head. You're going to start the rumors flutter around about Malone. Apparently homegrown guy. I think would be a good fit. Nice change of pace. Kind of similar to Tibbs. Older generational guy, kind of hard-nosed, coaches players hard. I think that's part of why he's been widely criticized over in Denver. Didn't really seem like he got a lot of love from Jokic, by the way. I don't know when that started. Maybe he was there before. They certainly won a championship with him. I mean, going into this year, he's one of the most revered coaches out there. I get it. They don't win it last year. Celtics get the job done, but it was only 2 years ago that Denver's winning this, and they were already firing him. I believe they were the 4th seed, right? Where is it right now? Yeah, they were the 4th seed going into the playoffs this year. They're going up against the Clippers. Both of those teams, by the way, at 50-32. The Lakers finished at 50-32. It's amazing how close the West ended up being, how the seeds were moving day by day in the last basically 5 games of the season. But you see, 50-32, that's a great year. I don't understand how you fired a coach. I forget who else fired their coach that's also in playoff contention. What is up with these trends of firing coaches all of a sudden? I don't understand. When did we start doing that? I don't, late in the season. I get it if, your team's out of it, that's one thing. Even then, it's not a great thing to do. I think maybe if you're trying to spark a little fire in the club and get them to the playoffs, okay, fine. But, to do it, when you're a 4th seed going in, when you legitimately have a chance to win a championship, at least I think so. I know the perennial favorite is the Thunder. I guess you could throw the Rockets in there as well. But outside of that, it's kind of like a toss-up. And I guess, listen, Thunder 68-14. They had the best record in all of basketball. SGA, arguably the MVP outside of Jokic. I believe the MVP is Jokic. The guy's averaging a triple-double. I don't understand. We could break down the stats in a little bit. We could have that argument. But I don't understand how SGA is like the overwhelming favorite or like for an MVP when he's averaging more points wise. I think he's like averaging like 32 points per game, but Jokic is averaging not only a triple double but a big triple double. I'll pull up the numbers just to show you because it's absurd. What are we really talking about here? Get that for you guys. Pull that up right there. Jokic. Where's the overall stats? Statty stats. There we go. Rightio, man. Rightio. So he played 70 games this year. All right. 29.6. So that's even more than what he was averaging a while back when I was checking him. He upped his numbers because he was having like a ridiculous end of the season stretch there. So he almost ended up averaging 30 points per game. Ended with 29.6. That's basically round up, man. That's basically 30 points. Total rebounds, 12.7 and 10.2 assists. That's a freaking triple-double, dude. That's basically 30, 13, and 10. All right, that's insane. Let's check Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on the other hand, just for the comparison. Because that's ridiculous, man. It's not... honestly, in my opinion, don't even come close. I'm blocking it a little bit. I didn't realize that. Sorry, folks. Let's move me over here. You check right over there. Okay, on your left of the screen, you got 32.7 points for him. Played 6 more games, by the way. Played 6 more games. 32.7. 5 total rebounds and 6.4 assists. So Jokic, pull this back. 10.2 assists. All right, so nearly averaging about 4 more assists, 7 more rebounds, which I don't know about you analytic guys, people out there, whatever. The guy only averaged virtually 2 more points. All right, if we're rounding up here, it's 3 more points a game. That's 1-3. I'm really not going to get hell-bent when the guy's averaging 4 more assists and 7 more rebounds. I think it tells more of the story. I think OKC in general has a better team than Denver. I think, in Denver, it's really been Jokic. Obviously the contributions from Westbrook, Murray, huge. But when you look at this OKC team, they go deep. They get a lot of contribution. And, they feed this man. They rely on this man to get to the line a lot of times. 51.9 field goal percentage. Field goal percentage from 3, 37.5. Free throw, 89 from the free throw, which is phenomenal. The efficient field goal percentage, which is important ones to look at, 56.9, okay? Take a look at Jokic here. 62.7 efficient field goal percentage. Free throw, not as good. Expect that there. Better from the three-point line. Okay, probably didn't take as much. And 57.6 field goal percentage. So better field goal percentage. Obviously, bigger guys going to be in the paint more, go for more twos, right? But, I mean, dude, you look back in the MVPs that he's won, and, it starts to paint the picture. You start to realize, like, all right, he won it in those years, and this is, by statistically, his best year. I get it. SGA, I think without both guys, I think it's easy to say these teams don't do as well. I don't know, if Jokic on that team, if you just swap the two and Jokic on that team, if they win as many games as they did this year. I don't know if it just speaks volumes to the coaching or the depth that OKC has. Not really sure. But needless to say, both of them are deserving. But when you really start to break it down, I think analytically, I think by the numbers, Jokic gets the bump for me, especially because the points difference is, if it was like 5, 10, if anywhere more than like 5 points or up, then I'd be like, okay, like maybe we got to like really start to look into it and say, the points alone give the credit to, SGA. But listen, I wouldn't be upset if Jokic won it again. I think SGA is gonna have his flowers eventually, especially he's just so good. It's Jokic's NBA. Outside of LeBron and some of the bigger players right now, but I think that's really the guy we gotta appreciate this man while he's still here and still doing it, because of the way he acts and everything. I don't think he gets talked about enough. I know ESPN love to be throwing out Jokic highlight, but it's hard to market a guy that's not really excited about the game. And I think as the viewer, we got to be more appreciative, recognize what this guy is doing. He treats it like a job, and he has a respect for it. It's interesting what happened with Mike Malone over there and the firing, and it's going to be interesting to see how they do here in the playoffs. Went out there, coach, are they going to find a way? Clippers are a good team. That's going to be a tough out in that series. But Denver, has that veteranship. So do the Clippers. So, and honestly, Kawhi looking good right now. So the door's open for them. Door's open for the Lakers. Right now, on my screen, I got 7:54 in the fourth left in this Orlando-Atlanta matchup. Orlando's up by 14 right now. I think I have a more updated score for you guys. But that's what I got as I'm watching it. This is off of Hulu. The Hulu. Get you a live score. Yeah, I got 95-81 Magic. So, again, taking it to Atlanta right now, rightfully so. Outscoring them 16-8 in the fourth. So, they're taking care of business, all right? Orlando came out in the fourth, taking care of business. They only scored 18 in the third, put up 16. Let's see, did Paolo have anything to do with that, people? So not really. 3 for 12. He only scored 2 points here in the fourth. So he continues to kind of be irrelevant in that sense. He did have 8 rebounds, 6 assists tonight, 1 steal, 1 block. Plus 7 in the point differential, doing pretty good. Wendell Carter having a big night. He's 8 for 11. 19 points, plus 17. Have a night, Wendell Carter Jr. All right. That's good for him. Cole Anthony as well. Nice night for him, plus 21. 19 points. Anthony Black, plus 23. 10 points right now. Both of those guys are on the bench at the moment as 7:54 left to go in the fourth. So I'd imagine you'll see Cole Anthony come back out. You'll see Anthony Black definitely contribute here late down the stretch a little bit. But good stuff. Good stuff from Orlando coming right out in the fourth. Hawks cut it down to 6 going into the fourth. Outscored them 26-18 in the third and really had a chance. But it looks like Orlando is going to find a way and hold off. But, hey, 14 up right now with a little under 8 minutes to go, just about 8 minutes to go. Anything can happen, as we know. All right, folks, we got 10 minutes left in episode 16. Thank you for tuning in tonight for those that did. I know it's a late one. Usually we like to go a little early. W was working tonight. I was busy early today trying to figure out how to put the stream together and how to do everything. Episode 2 of Mental Mondays with Epis, that's me, is coming up at the 10 o'clock hour. Okay, so we will be taking a break from here. We will be, probably in the next 5 minutes, we'll be heading out here. We'll be taking a quick little break. and then we'll be transitioning into Mental Mondays with Epis at 10 p.m. All right. Again, if you haven't already done so, go to my personal page on Instagram or the Epis Radio page on Instagram. Yes, I did post it on YouTube as well. So you can either go YouTube or Instagram or Facebook and catch this week's Mental Month. I am tripping up my words today. I'm nervous, people. I'm nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous, but I'm nervous. This week's mental health video of the week was posted yesterday, as we always do on Monday, so please check it out. Has to do about grieving the loss of a loved one, whether it be a friend, family, or just an acquaintance that you miss somebody. You know, that was near and dear to the heart. I guess they wouldn't really be an acquaintance then. So check that out. Let me know how you like it. Send me a DM. Like, follow, share, the whole nine. Thank you, everybody. I really do appreciate it. Again, we're coming to a close today. I didn't even get a chance to talk about my Mets, the Yankees. Status quo, Mets pitching has been the best in all of baseball. Juan Soto hit that nice little home run yesterday. I did want to play that for you guys, so maybe I'll cue that up in a second. But Soto doing his thing. A lot of talk about him and not looking right. He even came out in a recent interview talking about how he was receiving better pitches last year. And, of course, everybody's jumping on that. Oh, he doesn't like being a Met, this and that, yada, yada. Listen, could there be a little regret? There might be. Especially you see the Yankees doing what they're doing over there, smashing. I think the Mets at the moment have a better record. But, again, it's... yes, the Yankees are going to be good. The Mets are also going to be good. The Mets are playing really well. They're not even hitting well offensively right now, but they have the best pitching in baseball at the moment. I don't really know how, especially with the starting rotation. Hefner, this staff continues to dazzle and get the best out of their guys. Bullpen kind of faltering a little bit, but holding strong, doing what they do. Both closers in both teams look a little shaky. But hey, listen, Soto doing his thing. He'll get there in due time. Pete continues to smash. Yankees up and down a little bit. Pitching has been kind of atrocious at times. You're starting to worry with the starting pitching now. Outside of Fried, the rest of that rotation is a question mark. And I've been saying that. That was my biggest concern going into the season. I think it's starting to show itself already, but it's still early. We'll see. At least with the Mets, yeah, the offense was something that's expected to take off. It hasn't, and they're still winning games, so that's a huge plus, right? The Yankees, that pitching is an issue. We knew they were going to smash. It's whether or not that pitching will hold firm. Let's check that Juan Soto. Okay. Maybe I just want to show it. I don't know. I'm getting a little excited and just thinking about it, but here you go, ladies and gentlemen. Juan Soto, his second home run as a Metsie. So let me pop it here for you. Ooh, I don't like that. I need to move my fudge. All right. Here you go, folks. Enjoy that.
I feel it with an NFL helmet, not to the same extent, but there's a big difference between these two helmets. Probably about a third of the weight as well, a Major League helmet from an NFL helmet.
Although we have to say that the Major League
Steve
Baseball
Gelbs
helmets have gotten
on opening
more
day,
protective
I walk right past
over
them.
the last 10 or 15 years.
Slider inside.
They've done a lot more to harden the outside shell and to increase the flexibility of the padding inside.
The Mets were up 3-1. This is last night's game. Mets are
Juan Soto's 0 for 3 today. His fourth straight at bat with a runner in scoring position.
To him because
unable to come through the first 3 times.
They were
He
doing,
lifts
but
this
there
one
you
out
go.
to right center field. Pretty well hit. Back goes Buxton, back near the wall.
There you go, Mets fans. That's what you got to look forward to. A nice little 2-run shot for Juan. And you see the face, a bit smug.
And the Mets extend their lead to
really like
5-1.
smiling. You got Juan Soto hoodie going on. Different persona a little bit. That's why I hear that seems what people are saying about him. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Boy,
Let me know in the comments.
I'll
See
say.
any difference with Soto? Is it a
It's been
problem?
such a
Should we be
struggle for
worried?
Juan.
I'm not really worried
Season,
with that
his
swing.
first of 15 with
There
the
you go.
Mets. He hit the home
Soto,
run the second game of the
looking all
season
right.
in Houston.
Don't worry
And
about
now
it,
he
Mets
goes-
fans. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. All right. It's a long season, and we're doing just fine. All right. Don't have too much time to talk about it today. Again, thank you for everybody that was able to tune in to episode 16 tonight. I appreciate it. Don't go anywhere, though. Keep that tab open. Okay, we're just going to take a quick break, and we're going to transition to Mental Mondays with Epis, episode 2. All right, so again, thank you for tuning in tonight. Appreciate it, but please don't go anywhere. We're just ending the sports edition of Epis Radio. We're now going to be transitioning into Mental Mondays with episode in the 10 o'clock hour. So thank you for everybody that showed up for the sports. If you're watching this in post, I appreciate it. As always, keep showing up, and we'll catch you soon.
Broadcasting from the capital of sports, it's the Matty B Show. Right here on Epis Sports Radio. Matty B. On Epis Sports Radio.
Swung on and into the air. To deep right center. That ball is high. That is far. It is gone.
Epis Sports Radio.
Very deep is right. Hits one deep to left field. Headley back near the wall. It's in the air. The Mets win the ball game.
A 60-point game for Cody Bryant. They're up by 3. It's over. Eric Decker holds it in. The Jets win.